Well, after probably 6 years of saying I'm going to do it, we're actually moving. It means I'm moving workshop as well, because the workshop's at home, house just through there. But yeah, just thought we'd have a quick look around it before we go. New one's going to be about 4 times the size, so a bit of an improvement in terms of sizing. It's also on mains 3-phase, which means we can get rid of the old rotary phase converter that the machinery runs off at the minute. We sort of come in, this is the personnel door, do it sort of as you come in, so you come in through here. Oh dear. We've got the tender on the right, we've got enough outfeed there to do sort of about 4 metres roughly. That's spindle tooling cabinet there, that's got all the spindle molder tooling in. A bit of racking and some general crap, seals at the top, stuff that I don't want to get as dusty in bags. There's a bandsaw. That's the felder. It's the hammer one, the M4400. Miter saw. That's my bed, which was an idea I nicked off of a chap on Instagram called Johnny Ditchburn. If you are on Instagram, you don't follow him, you should do. He's does some really amazing work. There's my Foreman and my Hoffman face frame joint. I mean, you can use that for mitering and stuff as well, but to be honest, it just gets purely used for making these kind of face frames you can see up here. And then got panel saw. There's a bit of sheet rack storage on the right. I can get about 20 sheets in of 19mm veneered stuff upright, but it's a pain in the arse to get them back out because you have to roll this thing on wheels out, so I'd be glad to have a bit of more accessible storage. So panel saw through here, so 3.2 metre stroke. It's only actually single phase. It's one of the only single phase things in there that it is. Then we've got router table, which I've had for years, and it used to get used a lot back before I had spindle molders, but now it barely gets touched, to be honest, as you can probably tell from all of the sawdust on it. There's a separate little extractor that I use down there for cutting MDF, so I'm not getting MDF dust in the main big bags, because we use that for horse bedding and animal bedding. Some of the clamps are still up on the wall. There's quite a few down in a pile down there as well, ready to go. Got a small spindle molder. That one's on a rollable base, and I just pull it out when we need it. Don't use it very often, to be honest, so it doesn't need to be accessible all the time. I mean, it'd be ideal if it was, but obviously there's limitations. Got a little power feed on it. That's my sawdust burner. That's a cracking bit of kit. That is coming with me, so that needs coming out this week. Sort of rolling tool trolley that I just kind of drag around with me where I'm working. Some more tooling in there. There's my bigger SCM spindle molder. It's a nice machine. Got electronic speed control on it, which is unusual. Old model, I think it's probably, I don't know, maybe late 80s, might be earlier than that, maybe early 80s. It's one of the old mustard yellow ones originally. So that's my Morso Hoffman notching machine for notching out the face frames. That's a bit of a specialist bit of kit, but really good at its particular job, so well worth it. Some toolboxes I'm just packing up. There's my extractor there, which is on the, this is like my centralised system. I've got some cam filters for it that should go on it, but I've just not got round to doing it, so it's just on the crappy bags at the minute, but they're so old they're probably barely letting any air through now anyway, to be honest. But big old mortar, so you can see the ducting needs to come down as well this week. That's another job that needs doing. Got a few runs, got some splits that come off here, all on 45s and swept bends. That's those. You've got drops there for like the multi-co and drops for the bandsaw and bits and bobs. So that's my old mortise. Again, don't use it as much because I don't do as much windows and doors and traditional joinery work now, but used to get a lot of work. It's more cabinet stuff, so you've not got so much use for a full-blown mortise, but still comes in handy. Sometimes bigger cabinet doors I might make with a proper mortise and tenon. Got a planer thicknesser. It's a Record Power PT320. These are old. They haven't made them for a long time, but they're actually one which is rebranded by a lot of different companies, and most Record Power stuff I'm not super keen on. I think the bandsaws are alright actually, but a lot of stuff's not great. But that planer thickness has been really good. Really pleased with it. I mean, the only thing that I'd change if I could is if I could get a upgraded cast iron fence for it, I probably would. But all of the running gear on it's cast and nice and heavy, really solid. When you set it, to be fair, it doesn't move. It's just something nice about having cast iron fences, really. And then coming in here, we've got the this is the Kufo drum sander. It's sort of like a twin drum model. That'll be something that'll be getting upgraded fairly quickly to a twin belt, wide belt. That's probably one of the main things I want to get upgraded when we move and I've got more space. Because at the minute we're still, I've been using 3-phase converter, which generates 10 horsepower. I can run a single 10 horsepower motor off of it, but obviously for a wide belt that's a very small wide belt. So aside from the space limitations, there's also been a power limitation here. So when we're getting a new one, say it's a lot bigger, got proper three phase in it, we'll be able to sell this one on. Hopefully it'll do someone else a good turn. I've had it a few years and it's done me well, and I got it from a guy who upgraded to a big 1300 Sanding Master wide belt, so I need to have plenty of years out of it. So hopefully I can pass it on, someone else can use it for starting up until they're ready to upgrade as well. But yeah, a lot of work to get it cleared. I've still got to clear the timber shed as well, which is this scratty looking old shed over here, which is absolutely full to the rafters with timber. There's about 15 cubic metres of hardwood in there that needs clearing out, one piece down. So that's going to be the next job, and then it's really just starting to rip everything out. So lots of work ahead. I'm leaving the light in another circuit's not in there, so at least there's no electricals to remove, but probably going to give it a bit of a dust down just for new people, go around with a broom and blast out some compressed air lines. And yeah, someone else will be moving in there and we're moving on. Hopefully, I don't know whether I'll post this as a video in itself or whether I'll update when we move, you know, for like a comparison thing. But say new workshop. Not got the. I'm going to miss the skylights in here. They're really good for natural lights. Ever so brighter, even with the lights off. It's nice in the, you know, if it's daylight out, it's nice and bright in here. But new place hasn't got that. Maybe something we can look at adding later. I think we're going to run new LED lighting in the new workshop anyway, as a meantime thing. I do end up working a lot late anyway, so you know, having good artificial lights not going to be wasted if we later on change up to add some skylights anyway, because it's quite often dark in there. You know, by the time it gets this time of year and it's getting dark at 4 after 4, I could easily be out for another 3 or 4 hours after that. So yeah, that's it. Saying goodbye to the workshop. There we go.